Good evening. I'm Ann Patla, and I'm coming to you from my home office. I was scheduled to speak from the podium at the 2020 Robbie and Dan Boone Memorial Dinner, sponsored by the Democratic Women of Comal County, Texas, and usually held in the spring. But this year, the COVID-19 pandemic intervened and the event was canceled. I was to be honored for my work with the Comal County Democratic Party, and I've been asked to record my acceptance speech. Let me start by saying thank you to the Democratic women for this honor. I'm very grateful. I am able to claim the title of their founding president, but I am truly humbled by the organization's success. Until the DWCC, or Democratic Women of Comal County, came into being, the activist work in the county was centered in New Braunfels with the Democrats of Comal County, an organization meeting in the evenings. DOC, as it was known, was a thriving group and continues meaningful work. But as we know, New Braunfels is located on the far eastern edge of the county. And I thought there must be Democrats living outside of the New Braunfels area who might be interested in a meeting during the day. Thus began the effort to establish a new group, and this was in 2009. I would like to give credit to all who were there in the beginning, and with genuine apologies to anyone omitted, I would like to recognize Kathy Nathan, Leah Kantoff, Carolyn Fleming, and Ann Gale Smith, all of whom were part of the faithful crew meeting month in and month out, rain or shine, and even if we were the only ones in attendance. And more than once, our count for the day did come to 4 or 5. We met at the Todd Preston Memorial Library in Canyon Lake and did truly struggle, even as our dream was to fill the room. Well, between Lydia Rogers, the current president, her fine officers, and with a little help from Donald Trump, membership has now blossomed to 100 plus. And the activity is impressive. From rallies in the public square, to on the ground and financial support of candidates, to scholarships, to the collecting of supplies for those caught up in the border crisis, and to wonderfully organized meetings with interesting speakers, as well as support for other causes consistent with our values as Democrats. The organization is truly a success. And I might add that none of this could have occurred without the hard work on the part of many of its members. But had Robbie Boone not encouraged us when we struggled and became discouraged, there would not be a DWCC. Her continued support was key to our getting off the ground. Thus, it is fitting that the memorial dinner held in her honor, as well as Dan's, be sponsored by the Democratic Women. My volunteering began shortly after my husband, Ken, and I arrived here in 2006 when I worked at the polls. I remember Danny Root and I processing the Democratic vote, such as it was at Bill Brown Elementary School. Over time, I became an election judge, and that lasted until an election when I had to admit I was totally brain dead by 7 o'clock. I was also a precinct chair, and eventually Robbie talked me into becoming treasurer of the county party, a position I held for 5 years. But I am no different from any one of you who have worked at the polls, assumed the responsibility of a judge, been working members of DOC or the DWCC, been a precinct chair, or otherwise served the county party. If you purchased a ticket to the spring dinner, you've contributed in some way to furthering Democratic goals. If you have attended a rally or written a letter to an editor or put out a yard sign or purchased a promotional item at party headquarters, helped with the weekly newsletter or the website, written a postcard to encourage voting, made a financial contribution to DOC or the DWCC or the county party, you have made a contribution. So let me emphasize how important each of you is to our cause, because it takes all of us. All who have labored in officer roles for any of the three organizations, and all who volunteer at headquarters, all who have knocked on doors. I am no different from you. It takes all of us doing some small to large part of a big job to push the cause forward. And there is no doubt that we have been part of moving the party forward in Texas. Comal County has an excellent reputation for organization and activism. I was asked to speak about what inspired me to work for the party. My motivation springs from my belief that I am my brother and sister's keepers, and that this planet doesn't really belong to us. We are tasked with being good caretakers. It also springs from my love for my country. I believe that democratic values are consistent with American values. The Republicans do actually have some good ideas occasionally, just not recently, and that peace is the ultimate goal. John Kennedy also inspired me with his famous quote, and I was intending for us to say this all together, so perhaps you can say it while I say it. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. But at the heart of it all, when I was about 9 or 10 years old, my mother, in referring to Republicans, said, "They don't care about us." I think that probably was the beginning for me and sums up how a lot of Americans still feel. The spring dinner is in memory of Robbie and Dan Boone. The work they did for the Democratic Party in Comal County was tireless and should never be forgotten. Many of us would not be involved if it weren't for their dedication, support, and encouragement. Nor would the Democratic presence in Comal County be so alive and well. It is said that the best leaders bring out the best in us. I think that best describes Robbie and Dan. So when we get discouraged, let's remember them and their commitment and how that commitment took us a long way. Our friends are no longer with us, but we are in charge of their legacy. So let's honor it. Let's continue to work hard and never tire of doing the right thing. In closing, I would like to say this is a huge honor for me. I greatly appreciate it, but I must accept it on behalf of all of you. Thank you so much.